Anyway, welcome to Beyond the Pendulum. I didn't even get to the intro music, but nobody really cares anyway. I don't know. I don't know how big our audience is anyway. Hold on, let me do some self promotion and let me be that fly on the wall and just restream this show. All right, self promotion. And I am doing this all in real time. And to our viewers, who are on YouTube, this is a live streaming show. If you are seeing it in the past, it was streamed live on October 26th. I got a lot of updates for to what happened today. So today there was a meeting between the DoD Inspector General and members of the DoD and some top leading people within Congress. Tim Burchett said it was officially a waste of time. Luna and Representative Luna and a few other people said that they didn't have the right clearances to get what they needed to hear. And the people that were referring, the people that they sent to inform them probably didn't know enough to say what they wanted to hear. And AOC was there, but unofficially, officially she was never there because it was a classified meeting. But what we did get, thanks to Matt Laszlo, from Askapol, is that Congressman Burleson walked out of the meeting and talked to Matt Laszlo while they were doing a reporting and accidentally spilled some classified material. And, Andy from That UFO podcast asked Tim Burchett if he could clarify on any of that. And Tim Burchett said, I cannot comment, nor could I comment on any of that. But what he did say is that somebody had found an advanced propulsion, a device of advanced propulsion. And and this comes a week after Dr. Lakatsky or John Lakatsky, ex-NIDS investigator, ex-DIA or Defense Intelligence Agency employee, who admitted on camera that the DOPSA had authorized him about talking about certain things. And when Jeremy Corbell asked him, does the United States government have a craft of unknown origin and have they entered the inside? The answer was unequivocally yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Ain't that some shit?
So you only get disclosure by accident.
Or from the bottom down. I mean, you ask a couple hundred people if they could keep a secret, and that how far has that gotten? We've gotten enough from the trickle down to know what's going on. I'm not saying that we're ever gonna get full disclosure. I mean, if you look at like how the Manhattan Project was, do we in theory know how an atom bomb works? Yes. Do we in theory know how to refine the uranium to get the plutonium that we need? In theory, yes. But are there major steps that are involved in the whole process of that are classified? Of course there is. Like when we start getting into the electroplating and how they keep all this stuff from going supercritical. You're not going to get that information, just anywhere, nor you're going to get all the techniques. So,
Yep.
Are we going to get a little piece of the pie? Possibly. But are we going to get all of the pieces? Fuck no. So,
But to me, engineer minded, if they leak, they got a propulsion system. That's the big one. That really is the big. and that runs the whole thing.
Yeah. So
So
I
no
don't
matter what
think
the details are, it's
you know what's funny is that even fucking even I don't think even John Greenwald even put two and two together yet. I don't even think a lot of people haven't put two and two together that was a blooper. That was an oops. That was an oopsie. Yeah, John Greenwald hasn't commented all day on it. I think honestly, not enough people saw Matt Laszlo's interview to know that.
well, yeah, that's it. It'll have to trickle in. I mean, these media faces, they rely on their people and their teams, to tell them what's going on. There's no way they can sit out there all day and then be going, behind the scenes checking out all the news, as they're spewing, news and their nonsense.
So when people tell me, they know the DHS is lying, when they know that the Five Eyes intelligence reports, then they're lying, about the shoot downs that happened over Alaska and the Yukon Territory. I know they're lying. And yet they can show a J-22 Chinese fighter jet clipping our, C-130 Globemaster in the middle of international sea, in which indubitably the a lot of the camera systems they say are classified, which they're absolutely fucking not. I mean, I understand they have some like incredible telescoping shit, but it's not built on any sort of new technology in the imaging systems. Possibly in the infrared high definition, there probably has been a lot of new techniques, but as far as clear cameras, there's not a hell of a lot of uh, advancement other than auto stabilization from artificial intelligence. So when they tell us they can't tell us what they shot over or they shot down over Alaska and Yukon territory, when they can't tell you, that means it was probably UFO.
Yeah, there's uh, well, that part's true. And it's funny, as far as like the reporting of the incidents, these crafts, that some of them seem to have radar signatures, some don't, even though they know they're there.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Trickle down effect. Some people have put two and two together. What Burleson said. Here we go. Yep. It says, asked if some degree of the answers were provided in the allegations. To some degree, it was really frustrating, but I can't say what was said. But I'll say from a viewpoint of the UAP phenomenon has not changed. Blah 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 blah. Okay, maybe maybe they didn't pick it up.
Well, I find it amazing. It's just like if these guys, I mean, do they just randomly go into this skiff, or is that something that was scheduled and this guy,
This was
knew
scheduled.
about it? Or
This
yeah,
was
but
sketched.
he's the only guy there.
Well, no, it was the DoD Inspector General, and head leaders of Congress. Was David Grush supposed to get a skiff? Yeah, they're still working on that with him. Another thing that had popped up is that on the Good Trouble show, we found out. My friend AK said he knew about this about a month ago. Is that the new Blue Book is Arrow, which was set up to not officially tell anybody anything, but to just dismiss everything, which they are doing. What is not known or well known is that Sean Kirkpatrick has a DoD, they call it DoD Arrow executive, which is a group of about 8 to 20 people that are sort of their overseers on what the DoD Arrow is doing. And when Sean Kirkpatrick was asked by some members of Congress to give up the people in these names, he wouldn't give it up. But through some Congress intelligence or Senate intelligence, they were able to get that list, and lo and behold, these are the legacy UFO gatekeepers from the legacy UFO and reverse engineering programs. Apparently, from the intelligence that I was heard over, and they also shit showed the Arrow on because Arrow was investigating a lot of these legacy. They have to by law also investigate old UFO stuff that happened, from 1947 all the way up. And, they were interviewing some of the ex guys who used to work on the nuclear missile facilities that were constantly getting bombarded by UFOs. And they didn't have a lot of good things to say about Arrow or the NDAs or how they were talking about classified stuff over the phone. They weren't doing it in a skiff. It almost seemed like it was disingenuous and they just wanted to just, dot their T's and cross their I's and say that they did something when they're not doing it properly or they're not doing it or whatever. But anyway, so like one of the guys asked, where are you going to put this information? Because the guys that they're interviewing have to sign off on what they're saying, and then they just said, "Oh, this is going to go in a memoirs, something, some sort of official fucking jargon that they have to record stuff on for their report on what they did." And when the guy asked, "What did you write?" they didn't write anything. They just put their names in there that they were interviewed. None of it was recorded. None of it was written down. So basically, to explain away this whole fucking UFO shit, Arrow was created to be a not a go-between, but a means to ending what is currently going on, or explain away everything
No,
like other project.
no,
Yeah.
no. Who started that program? What year and what president?
Oh god, Arrow's 2 years now.
Okay, so well, that's recent. Okay,
Very recent, yeah.
yeah, it's a typical clearinghouse. They hire a couple of physicist guys to help them be debunkers. It's the same profile they've had like for damn, like maybe 70 years now. You have it's the clearinghouse while also at the same time the debunker, the face of it all. Um, they're that gatekeeper. I mean, that's what I call it.
Yeah, they're gatekeeping, and other people are starting to get wind of it. There was another leaker, from the Air Force, from their intelligence agency called SAIC. Jonathan Gray was weaseled into the beginning and to a tail end of an article on the debrief on how, he was another whistleblower that had gone to Congress, doing their P99s or whatever the fuck they're called, and PJ99s or whatever the fuck. And they're going around fucking Arrow because they're realizing that it's just a fucking gatekeeping agency to keep this shit under a lid. And I think other people like not David Fravor, but the other guy who's doing the aerospace. But they're trying to create FAA regulations for these. Not to David Fravor, Ryan Graves was even I think he's getting wind that DoD Arrow is just a shit show operation and they might actually be studying this on some sort of real level, but that sort of reporting is not coming down or trickling down into the surface level, and it kind of doesn't make any sense if they are doing any legitimate work other than because we do know that there are illegal SAPs that are reverse engineering craft. So I mean,
I just I think it's probably. I mean, all this stuff would eventually go to like to some military contractor, right?
oh yeah,
It's going to go to
100%.
one of the big name contractors. They're the ones that are truly going to have all the information because it always goes corporate, fascist. They're going to have the info. They're the government that's there behind the scenes all the time. Because I was watching something else. Goes way back. This goes back to Operation Paperclip and Gladio in Europe right after the World War II, and how the CIA was ran those operations and was immediately they were directed by the president to do certain things, and they just did whatever the hell they wanted without him knowing. So that's you have a government that you think is in control, and then there's these other groups that are actually doing whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
And then you're seeing it again here. You have disclosure. It's like, okay, your real government is, even in a small way, trying to do some kind of disclosure in a civilian, more open, some kind of open government fashion, and yet you hit that same wall of agency nonsense and operational security, blah blah blah. So you really don't have that. That just tells me you really don't have the government that you think you have. There's something else going on.
Oh yeah, speaking of shit, remember that shit that I showed you about in Peru? Do you remember that weird shit that's been going on for months? Hey,
Oh man, I forgot about it. Yeah, you
the
sent
face
something. I don't
peelers, yeah,
remember.
these weird bangs that are fucking. I got a video for you, dude. Somebody was,
Oh, scared.
yeah, yeah. Here, look at that video right there. Just sent it in the chat. Okay, this is in Brazil. Okay, it's deep in the heart of the jungle of the Amazons or somewhere. Somebody, the same sort of shit is happening in the rainforest in Brazil, and they were filming it. Okay, what you're seeing in that video is not fire. It's not fire. If it is, it's a magnesium fire. But I know a magnesium fire when I see it, and there would be a lot more smoke. You'd actually see a lot of white smoke. What you're seeing is iridescent of a plasma. Alamo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, I had a hiccup on my internet. Anyway, so yeah, so there was yeah, so what is going on is there's in order that's not like I said, it's not a magnesium flare, that's not a magnesium fire, that's straight up plasma. And to produce plasma like that to excite the initial gases that are they're in the air, we're talking tens of millions of volts produced in the middle of the Amazon jungle. And this is the same shit that's being reported in Peru, except for the difference is that in Peru these things are killing people and chopping their and taking their and scalping them.
Now there's a point here where this flame goes out, and you can see the structure collapsing
Yeah.
and glowing like a normal firewood. I mean, that makes me suspicious there. But how about I've seen some lights that are like at. I think they're not LEDs. The plasma. They're not the plasma lamps either, but something along those lines that looks like that. They glow very bright and kind of pulsate.
Oh,
But
the
it does look
LED
like that.
the LED plasmas.
Yeah, and but this one does look like it was on fire the way it collapsed right at the end there.
Yeah,
Um,
I it's hard. It you can tell that it's whatever it's doing. It's not smoke that you're seeing. You're seeing steam, which is even more bizarre. It's not. It's not. You're not seeing combustion. That's like typically what you would see for plasma.
Now, the only thing I did see that burns clean like that is like a gun cotton or flash powder. Not the flash powder, but flash paper if you do it right.
Yeah, they're saying filmed in the Amazon in the Ikataria. They're saying it was a plasma-like phenomenon. Jesus Christ! And there's a group of Marines that they're willing to go down to Peru, and they're saying that they were told by the American government not to go down there. Some retired Marines, but I don't know who would have contacted them to tell them to not go down there. But I don't know. I
Men in Black.
Yeah, I think it's plasma. I think that there's something to the story. I mean, it's been going on since June in Peru, you know, and they're still reporting it. You know that these beings are chopping people's faces off and fucking returning them with all the body intact, but they're fucking there's no flesh on the face
Oh man.
and shooting at.
So they're still alive.
No, they're dead. Completely
Oh,
dead. The fucking the face is removed. Everything's removed. The brain matter
okay.
is removed, but the rest of the body's fine. And one of
Well, somebody should run a what do they call it, a chromatograph on that on the light signature on these films. You know, see if you can pick up what element that is. If
yeah,
anything pops up there.
yeah. The problem is you're gonna if you're trying to do that kind of like it's called a spectrometer through using digitally. It's not gonna work. You're gonna have to do it through real optics. Yeah. Unfortunately, an iPhone camera is just not sensitive enough to look at the spectrometer to see what would be actually causing that. Because I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if you got argon, nitrogen, and oxygen making that color, which is what you would see from plasma.
Well, yeah, but that'd be more like a electrified, like the old neon tubes.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that's like a rope or some kind of string structure that had some kind of flash paper on it.
Could.
Now it would have to be a lot because of the way it burned. The way it burned is kind of weird, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not. I don't think that's smoke. It looks more like vapor to me, is what you would see when you would be around like a lot of plasma. Exciting the water molecules in the air. But
and it set something that was nearby on fire, so it was hot.
yeah,
I don't know.
can plasma
Oh,
catch
and then
stuff?
there's another one.
Yeah, can plasma catch stuff on fire? I think it can.
Yeah, it's usually fairly hot.
Yeah, yeah. It's just excited gas with
Well,
a lot more voltage in it that makes it glow like that. Starts creating the atoms start producing photons. Um, I don't know, man. Like usually like not every week's like this, but this week it's been so fucking weird. Uh, Let me see. We talked about Jonathan Gray. NASA being tight-lipped as usual. Yeah, nothing's coming out of the NASA end. Oh yeah. NASA was supposed to do that inertia drive that was supposed to be launched sometime this month. I don't know if that inertia drive is top secret because I haven't heard heads nor tails of that anything that came out of that factory, and it was some sort of, I think it was reverse engineered alien tech, but it was talked about several times on the website, but it was supposed to go up in March, according to the deep or not March, October this month. So if it was launched, it was done in secrecy, probably with SpaceX. Um, Jonathan Gray. Uh, we're still waiting on the 2024 UFO DoD NDAA National Defense Authorization Act, which will be voted on later this year. It's expected to pass, and if it is expected to pass, there is a plan in there for the public to get some sort of controlled disclosure, which on some level would inform us about what's happening. Which brings me around to this ex CIA guy named John Ramirez who started this whole 2027 date when who these aliens are supposed to reveal to us who they are or whatever the fuck or some sort of event that's supposed to happen. Which and John Ramirez is also disappeared off the face of the planet as far as social media is concerned. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people in the intelligence agency have said a lot of things that haven't come true. So I don't know. I don't know the truth, but there have been a lot of weird stories out there. Like there was an update to the Marine whistleblower Sergeant. What's his name? He was with Danny Sheehan. Sergeant Romero or whatever his name is. He was like one of the Marines that had seen the UFO being put into the back of a pickup truck or some shit in Indonesia. Apparently, according to him, he got picked up, and some people heard a story. Was helicoptered off to a black site. They kind of showed him what was going on, and apparently, according to him, they have people that try and some on the telekinetic level get these UFOs to come down here by feeding people stimulants and drugs that'll make them feel good to enhance their telekinetic ability. I don't know, and that this is like a multi-generational operation going on, and that these guys want the program to end, but they don't, and it kind of like it when he started saying stuff like that. It kind of put me off. I'm like, maybe it's not real. What he's saying is not 100% real, which it might not, but part of it might be. I don't know. I've always heard in this field, the more crazy the story sounds, the more probably legit it is. Like
I'm just, I'm
Bob
just tired of
Lazar.
these.
You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, because there was enough technical knowledge and information there to make it believable. You need that kind of guy to to do that. You can't be listening to some Fed or fucking guy from Congress tell you, it's who's going to be more like a lawyer than anything else, tell you technical shit, because that's what it's going to be, right? It's going to be beyond what you know now. So you're going to need some like almost physicists probably to be able to understand it in the first place.
Yeah.
I saw an interview with an old interview with Stanton Friedman, and they got to talking about this is kind of an odd UFO thing, but that there was like some tie-in between UFOs and Bigfoots, and maybe they were just like there's not a lot of them around, but these were actually creatures that they were bringing and dropping off here from somewhere else.
I've heard that theory too. I've heard that.
Yeah, this is like, wow, man. Like, hey, that's another odd one, right? I mean, it's just like,
You know what? That's something I could actually see. They go, "Oh, let our pet out. He needs to get out." Oh, okay, go on, Mr. Bigfoot. Just don't kill too many people.
yeah, it's like, was he just the dog they kicked out on the side of the, galactic road? Like, hey, here's a spot he can live. We're tired of this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Tired of feeding this.
Yeah.
Because and then some of their this made sense. Some of their logic was, well, Yeah, but because it's like, well, these Bigfoots are not very successful. They seem kind of dumb. They're not able to like build a city or collaborate with other Bigfoots or do normal more advanced behaviors, right? It's just kind of like they're the loners in the woods. You only see one at a time usually.
Well, yeah, I mean, apparently, we saw one last week on a fucking take.
Oh, did
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, taking a shit and fucking on a tourist train or on the side near a tourist train in the middle of nowhere in the Rockies.
oh,
Hold on one second. Hello? Yeah. Okay. I can't. I can't. I'm doing my show right now. No, no. It's only been 30 minutes, Nagor. Bye bye. Oh my god. I can't ever get away from the kid or the family for like 20 minutes.
you're in it now, man.
Yeah.
Well, it happens to almost
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit. I probably have to end the show. God damn it. All right.
Well, it was info
Yeah.
packed. I'll give you
Yeah, it was
that.
info packed. We probably won't be back next week. I have something to do, so we'll be back in like a week. If anything pops up, I definitely will put it in there, and I'm pretty sure this classified leak that we had will be lead on to something else if it doesn't turn into a complete blockade of some stuff going on downstairs. All right, and with that one.